And opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Connie O'Day from the show Lions We Serve Live, and we have a lot of interesting things going on today. It's almost Thanksgiving too. One of the things that I would like to share with you, as we have been celebrating we have celebrated 1 year as of the first part of September that our show's been on. And at our district meeting this last month here, our program was given a distinction, an award by our international president, being that this show has become one of the best marketing and information about Lions going out worldwide. And we were given an award of recognition
new voice.
as impact as a new voice in the area of marketing Lions. And it is signed by our international president. So that was really an exciting award given to us at our last district meeting. So International has now recognized our show here. So I hope that you out there that are Lions will encourage more Lions to watch our show. And those of you who are not Lions, perhaps you would like to join Lions, because we are expanding and we got lots of wonderful things happening in our communities all over the world. And as a matter of fact, I have with me today Lion Jennifer Gass. She actually is going to be talking this afternoon about her trip to Mexico that our club sponsored, Stockton San Joaquin. But first of all, she's going to talk about the National Federation of the Blind. Okay,
right.
Jennifer, there you go.
Thank you, Lion Connie. Well, I'm a member of a group here in San Joaquin County called the National Federation of the Blind of San Joaquin County. And our chapter helps people with visual impairments to be more independent, to get in touch with resources, to connect with other people. We connect them with scholarships, all kinds of great things. And we are having a book fair at Barnes & Noble December 7th.
Here in Stockton?
Yep.
Yes.
Stockton at Weberstown Mall from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. If you bring in a flyer or have our book fair ID number.
And that ID number is 1, 2, 4, 5, 1, 2, 7, 4. And that ID number is to be given when you check out, so that you go ahead and tell them what that is for.
So you can present that ID number in store all day, 9 to 9, December 7th, and then they will let you continue shopping online for 5 more days through December 12th. So at the checkout process, if you use that book fair ID, also a percentage of your purchases, your Christmas shopping, will go to help the NFB of San Joaquin County. Thank you.
And that's online or in the store?
Yeah, online for the 7th through the 12th, in store December 7th.
The 1 day.
Yes.
Okay, that's very good. Well, that's wonderful. Yes, you're our representative for the National Federation of the Blind. Yeah. That is great. Thank you, Jennifer. A couple of other things that I quickly wanted to remind you of for our district here at District 4A1. We have an upcoming district meeting. That's going to be February 22nd and 23rd. So mark your calendars for 2019. We're getting ready for our new calendar. Does everybody have one? I hope you do. I got mine and it's getting filled up quickly. Then also in March, March 23rd through the 25th of 2019 is the Leadership Institute. That's going to be here in California. It's at Rancho Cucamonga, California, and it's online. You can go to Lions International and put in Lions Leadership Institute in California. So this is going to be a great learning experience. Some of us, we can't get to the big Canada, U.S.-Canada forums. So these leadership forums are excellent to go to. And then I want to remind everybody here in District 4A1 that we have our district meeting coming up, which I always said was in February. Wait a minute, there's something else here that I wanted to tell you about. Oh, yes, it's the convention. District 4A1's convention is going to be April 11th through the 14th, 2019, and that's going to be at San Ramon Marriott in San Ramon, California. It's a beautiful place. And we are going to have there, it's going to be the International Director, Don Nolan, from Harvester Lions Club in St. Charles, Missouri. And he will be our keynote speaker. So I hope all of you that are in District 4A1 would come to that convention. And one of the things that our Lions Club and other Lions Clubs here in Stockton are helping to represent is the Military Appreciation Stockton Heat hockey game. That is going to be on December 8th of this year. And the whole hockey game is going to be giving recognition to our veterans and our military, all branches of military. And you could go online to buy tickets. They're not very expensive for this wonderful event. And you can go to mhicks@stocktonheat.com. And tickets range from $12 to $22. And if you go online and buy the tickets, then you can also designate a nonprofit organization that you would like a percentage of your ticket money to go to. So it's like a fundraiser, not only for the Stockton, the Military Appreciation Night for military, there at the hockey game, but it's also to raise money for other nonprofit organizations. So it's going to be a great event. And next week, my guest speaker is going to be ex-Marine veteran Michael Emerson. He is one of the organizers of this particular event here in Stockton, and he's going to be my guest next week. Okay, now we're going to move right on here to actually, there's one other thing that I do want to tell you for people around the Stockton area. A couple of years ago, we had the Vietnam moving wall here, and Lions helped with that, and I worked for several days, every day actually, at the information table. And from 8 o'clock in the morning until closing, names that are on the wall are spoken over a loudspeaker. And we are getting the moving wall back here in Stockton again, June 20th of 2019. So I will be continually reminding you about this. Tell your family and friends, your clubs, that the moving wall will be here again. And that is going to be June 20th through the 24th. So mark your calendars. I will remind you more as time goes on. Okay. Now, today, I have with us Jennifer Gass, who just told you about the National Federation of the Blind. But Jennifer is a member of our club, Stockton San Joaquin, and she has just returned from an annual mission trip that our club helps to support for her. She and her daughter Mia go every year with their church, right? It is your church. And they visit the Christian orphanage in Baja California, Mexico. And I'm going to turn this over to Jennifer, because I want her to tell about this wonderful, wonderful mission trip, the things that the volunteers that go do, and how they are accepted there, and just everything. She did an exciting job. So I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer to start telling us about your trip.
Oh, thank you, Lai and Connie. So this year was the 6th year that my daughter and I, my daughter's 12, went with Calvary Chapel of Stockton on their annual mission trip to the Door of Faith Orphanage in La Mission, which is in Baja California. And we fundraise throughout the year, and we all pay our own way, as well as gain donations to help with things for the orphanage and for the orphans. So my club, the Stockton San Joaquin Lions, has been generous every year to donate some more money towards a meal for the Lions to provide for the kids there at the orphanage. And this year, the church's goal was to provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner instead of just dinner like we've done the other years. And the San Joaquin Lions stepped up and doubled their donation, helping cover most of the cost of the food for those 3 meals. So they say there's over 100 kids at the orphanage, and they budget very tightly to feed these kids, which costs about $80 a day. And that's mostly beans, and more beans, as the kids have told me, and tortillas, and fresh produce or fresh meat or any snack foods are really a treat. So when a group can come in and make a special meal for them, there's a million smiles that day, and they're so excited.
About how many children are there at the orphanage, Jennifer?
There's a little over 100 right now, I believe. The numbers change depending on who's coming in, or there are some adoptions, but not too many, because a lot of these children have been rescued from very abusive situations, or their families have died. And that's another reason we can't put pictures of them on social media or anything, because some of them could possibly be in danger from bad relatives. So there are even babies there. We spend time going in. They ask us to hold the babies in the orphanage, to give them that love and attention. There's wonderful people that work there, but they just want them to have that feeling that there's a bigger family out there caring for them.
How many staff members are there on a regular basis?
I'm not sure exactly how many staff they have. People come in to commit for different terms. There's at least 6 or 8 full-time staff associated with the office. There is a dorm family for each room. The kids are divided up into age groups and by gender. So there's a dorm family, a mom and a dad assigned to each dorm, that are kind of like the parents for those kids.
Oh, wonderful.
They live there with them. They come to meals. They guide them. All the kids have chores. Even the tiny kids have a little square foot area on the patio that's their responsibility to keep clean, whether sweeping or picking up garbage. And it's the most cheerful place. You wouldn't believe it's an orphanage. It's brightly colored. There's a slide in the young boys' room, so they can either come down the slide or the ladder. And people have, donated to help make this possible. The first year my daughter went, she spent so much time playing with the kids in between the chores we were doing, and she didn't want to leave, and they said that's the highest compliment you can get. It's not like a dreary orphanage. It's actually a place a kid would want to stay.
Now, your daughter's name is Mia, and how old is Mia?
She's 12.
And how old was she when she first went to Mexico with you?
Oh, she was almost 7, I believe, the first time we went. So
Mia has been a fantastic. She's a fantastic young lady. Our club awarded her an acknowledgement of being a special person for our club. She does so much volunteer work and helping with things, and her going down. Got a picture of her cooking and so
Yeah,
forth.
she cut onions for the first time, well, the second time in her life. My husband's not too fond of onions, but she was crying. I don't know if there's tears in the picture, but the onions really got her. But she kept trooping along doing. So she got sliced tomatoes and lettuce, and like I was saying, most of the time they get tortillas, beans, rice, and so what we were able to provide with the donation of the Lions and other groups like the Soldier of the Cross motorcycle ministry here in Modesto and Stockton also made a donation.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So between
that's
their group and ours.
Yeah, Jennifer's husband is a Lion. He also belongs to the motorcycle group. They're wonderful.
So we were able to provide a great breakfast. It was country potatoes. We made pans and pans of eggs with bacon bits and cheese in it. So they had that for breakfast. For lunch, we had three different kinds of lunch meat. We had sandwiches. They could have lettuce and tomato if they wanted. They got meat, cheese, veggies, a sandwich.
So these
and
are big
chips.
treats for these young people.
They don't get much meat, they don't get much fresh produce, like I said. So.
And this orphanage is in the poorer area of, where is it, in La Mission?
La Mission, there's some better areas closer to the beach, and there's some more poor areas. It's about an hour and a half south of Tijuana. And so the kids are there, that doesn't necessarily reflect the community.
Now, you did something in Tijuana also, right?
Yeah, so in La Mission, there is a Calvary Chapel church, and one of our young men from our church went down to Door of Faith Orphanage and did a 6-week internship this summer. So while he was there, he made a connection and went with some of the staff to services there, and he learned about this discipleship and men's recovery program they had there called Liberty Ranch.
Oh, wonderful.
So Monday night, we prepared a spaghetti dinner with salad and bread for the men at this program and attended their service. One of them shared his testimony, how he'd come out of heroin. All 5 of his brothers had died.
Oh, my gosh.
And this was, his second or third time round, but he was really sticking with, following his faith and humbling. They said they have him washing lots of dirty laundry, and he's not protesting it. And, they just shared their stories with us. In the service, even the singing was in Spanish and English. They had an English-speaking pastor and a Spanish-speaking pastor. And it was a really wonderful service. We enjoyed it so much. We went back Friday night for their Friday night service. But the men were so grateful to have spaghetti instead of beans, beans, beans.
Yeah.
And they said, God bless you, thank you. That's the best spaghetti I ever had. When I was leaving, they were, holding our hand and thanking us. And it was really moving. And so Tuesday was the day that we did the breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the kids. Then Wednesday morning, we did go to Tijuana, and we rented a water truck. In the past, we've made dispensary bags of different staples and soap and toilet paper to hand out. But we consulted with a missionary there about some ways that we can help more without having unintended consequences, such as putting a local store out of business for the week. So he said originally he wanted to provide water for everyone in the community free. And then he saw this would put 4 or 5 other businesses out of the commerce there, or people would become dependent. So we had a meeting with him, and he said periodically, if groups go out with the free water truck, that this is one way that we can help the community, like give them a little boost without interfering in the commerce and the lifestyle.
And that you did down in Tijuana, Mexico.
Right.
Oh,
so we went to an
wonderful.
area called the Canyon, which is built on a dump. A lot of the people burn garbage there to get metal out of it or retrieve. They make their houses from what's there. I can't see them, but what I heard, they're very creative in what they can use to make their homes. And there is a lot of poverty there. So
there is a lot.
They brought their water jugs out, 5-gallon water jugs, and our group took them, filled them from the truck, brought them back, and quite often we got to talk to them a little bit about their family, and so we had opportunities to pray with the people, and just they're very grateful
Do you know if
yeah.
they still have the cardboard houses there? That a lot of the people, they live in the river. There's like a riverbed. I remember
I'm
when
sure
I lived
there
in San
are.
Diego, I went down to Tijuana and saw all these homes of the very,
Yeah.
very poor.
They use anything that they can
Right,
get to make
exactly,
a shelter.
yeah.
So a lot don't even have running water or electricity, or they might splice into the, municipality's power and it's not really theirs. And they're living very hard there, but they're that much more grateful, and you should, see how they really believe in the power of prayer, like more so maybe than we even do, just because they're living so close to life and death at any
Right.
moment. So it was a privilege to pray with some of the people. Most of the time they ask for prayer for their health or pain or for work for their family. Last year when we were praying with people, a lot of them told us a family member, maybe one that should be taking care of the family. There's a lot of the crystal or, methamphetamine addiction down there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's a big problem. And, when people are desperate, it's hard not to turn to substance abuse. And that's one thing the Calvary Chapel Mission Ranch is really trying to help with there. Bringing lives out of ashes,
Getting back to the orphanage, do many of these children get adopted by good families ever?
There are some, the Mexican government, it's kind of more like CPS that brings
Right.
them there. If family members can go through the hoops and get approved, then the children might go back to them. A lot of times they don't, though. So
Yeah.
they'll be there for life, and the stability, like I said, of the dorm families, the dorm parents that are assigned to them, and, just the love and community there.
And do they go to school?
Yes,
They have
they go to school in the community, and then they come back home late afternoon for lunch. Then they have chores and their work, and they're starting Bible studies there now. One of the young boys that I've seen every year, his name's Raul. He has pretty good English, but he's been my friend. He teases me a little bit, but he always, watches out for me. He tells me, So we went to watch his soccer game, and that was the first time I got to do that. They actually play on concrete.
Oh my gosh.
There's 2 concrete walls with alcoves in them, and that's the goals. And it's just a concrete basketball or, court with walls. And they play every ball like an arena soccer,
Oh my gosh.
And most of them don't have padding or anything. And
Oh,
they're
I bet
tough.
they get hurt.
They're tough, though. They fell and they just got up. And we were glad they tied. They didn't win, but they tied. So they were happy, that they were just so moved that our group would take the time to come out that night, because they didn't play till about 8:30 at night. And that was a privilege to be there.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
And
So a lot of the kids grow up there. Some of the staff either stayed or came back, but they encourage all the kids to get their education, to go to college if they can. Mm-hmm. They have programs there like a bakery. They have a printing shop where they're trying to get a T-shirt industry and like a printing industry going, and they train the kids in the aspects of business and these fields because they want them to be productive citizens that can take care of themselves. And they offer all these opportunities to the kid. Like my daughter bought this keychain from the printing shop. It says DOFO for Door of Faith Orphanage. And that's something new that they produced in the printing shop. And then they do have a gift shop there where you can buy T-shirts or vanilla or handcrafted bags or painted crosses, different things the kids or the community has made to raise money.
Oh.
So that's one of the things she looks forward to.
Now,
Getting-
Jennifer,
yeah.
how much? I know our club has helped you with your costs, and this time we donated money for dinners and
Yeah.
food there.
Uh-huh.
So, but if somebody else wanted to go, how much would it cost to go, like for next year?
Right. Typically, the first 4 years we went, it was $150, and then bring along a little money for a few meals out or souvenirs. the last 2 years, our group got tired of driving all the way down, so they put flight as part of the package. So it's been more like $425, but that includes all your meals, your lodging, your airfare, except for like when we stop at Denny's on the way down, and maybe one other time we go out to a local restaurant.
Now, where do you fly out of? You have to drive.
We flew from Sacramento to San Diego, and then we rented a 15-passenger van there, and we drove down from there. And you have to get Mexican insurance on the car and all those.
Oh, yes.
So, a little bit of the money we pay goes toward the van rental, and it's about $10 a night a person to stay in the dorms at Door of Faith. So they have rooms that have a bathroom, plumbing, a kitchen area, sink, everything in the kitchen, a seating area.
You had showers.
There's showers. So, the $10 just helps cover the electricity, water, what we use while we're there. So it's fairly inexpensive, and groups can go down for, a day trip or a week or a weekend, or as long. If you're staying for a while, you can't make a reservation.
And how long did your group stay this time?
We stayed a week. We got down there Sunday night and came back Saturday morning. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you've been doing this how many years?
This is the 6th year that we've
Oh,
gone.
my gosh.
Yeah.
And Mia goes with you every year?
Yeah.
That's
and
a wonderful experience for her.
She was actually grouting tile in one of the new buildings they were building for staff there this time, and that's a life experience she's never had. So,
how did she like that?
She didn't mind it. I thought she might give up a little sooner, but she did it for about 5 hours.
And when she's there, is she doing a lot of interacting with the children?
Yes, yeah. They have varying degrees of, English skills, maybe not too much, but they're encouraged to learn English because that'll give them a better future, more potential. And so, like I said, Raul, there's certain kids that we've known all the years and they remember us. Then there is some turnover. A lot of families sponsor a kid, which you can do for $25 a month. So you can write them letters, they'll help translate, or you can send them gifts at their birthday and Christmas. The orphanage will give you like a list of their sizes and some things they like.
Oh, that's nice.
So a lot of people in our church do that.
Is this people out in the community or other Lions or other organizations or churches?
Anybody can sponsor them, and they require multiple sponsors that would cover their costs. Probably 6, 8, but anything you do helps. And there's a lot of ways to donate or to volunteer your time. Like when I was there, I'm not so suited for the grouting, but I helped label envelopes, fold and stuff the newsletter, different things that I could help more so with. My daughter went and decorated for a quinceañera they were going to have on Saturday, a 15-year-old birthday for one of the girls.
And what did you call it?
They call it a quinceañera. It's
quinceañera?
Kind of like a Sweet 16 party in America, but in the Mexican culture. So they had a big arch and gazebo. They have flowers. So she helped with that for a while too. And so Thursday and Friday, we were mostly doing those work projects there at the orphanage.
So
yeah,
let me ask you this question. I'm sure that your group that goes and volunteers, when you have left, do any of them, have they shared what it meant to them or what they learned or experienced by being a missionary to go down there and to volunteer and interact with these children? Have they shared any of their feelings of what it means to them?
Definitely. I mean, with the other people in our church, with their families, people post on Facebook about it. There's a lot of posts about the activities and pictures from our trip on the Calvary Chapel of Stockton Facebook page. If you wanted to get more of a feel for what the houses look like where we donated water, or we just, like I said, unfortunately you can't have pictures of the children because a lot of our interaction is with the children, but we understand that's for their protection. So
now on the San Joaquin Lions Facebook page, are you going to post any pictures and any information about your trip?
I have something written up, yeah, but I just need help getting the right pictures.
Yeah.
Pictures aren't my specialty as a blind person, so when I've had some suitable photos selected, I already have something written to go with them. But
Well, the pictures you sent to me from Mexico when you were there are excellent. Shows when Mia was cooking and
right,
and
decorating for the quinceañera.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and those would be on our Facebook page for our club.
Yeah.
And I have a web page. Is this the correct web page that people can go to? It's www. Of course, dofo.com.
.org.
.org.
Yeah.
That's
So
where
the
they
Door
can,
of Faith website is www.dofo, which is DOFO.org.
.org.
And you can donate there. You can sign up for the newsletter. You can find out more about going. And like I said, if you have any interest in going and you're here in our area, it's not just open to our church. You know, we welcome other people to come in the group. So, you know, keep in contact with the Stockton San Joaquin Lions. We'll let you know when preparations are being made and the dates of the trip. And we'd love to have more people go. We had the most people signed up to go this year. And then there were some unfortunate occurrences in the things of life where we ended up going with the smallest group ever of 10 people. But we were mighty. We got some projects done. And
But what kind of
was
projects did you do?
like I was saying, the grouting.
And that grouting, was that inside a building, bathrooms or something?
Yeah, it was in a new building they were building to house staff.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
The quinceañera, the Christmas mailing is something our church group works on every year because that's their fundraiser appeal, but informational letter. It has a magnet with a picture of the kids, and a lot of them come in and actually hand sign the letter. It's really cute.
Oh, nice.
So you can get on their newsletter mailing list on the website now, and you'd probably get that in the mail because we were working on them when we were there. But it's a great organization. The DJ and Lynette, you know, the people in charge, they have a heart for this. They go out teaching other orphanages how to have a more cheerful, happy, productive place for the kids. It's just impressive to see. You know, they're in an orphanage, but they're not unhappy. They're productive. They have family. They have extended family.
Well, there should be a lot of Christian love there.
Yes.
Yeah. That's wonderful. And the age groups of the children that are there, you were talking about babies?
Yeah, from babies all the way to 18. And then they have some of the older kids that they're transitioning toward work or college. Like I said, some may come back as staff or a dorm parent. There was someone that grew up in the orphanage, became a dorm parent, and then a missionary had come from another state to work there, and now they were just married and had a kid.
Oh, for goodness sake, wonderful.
They met, yeah, so the couple, Gabe and Heidi, this new guy, Daniel, was overseeing our group, and he was cool. But Gabe and Heidi shared their story and how they just, you know, were drawn from where they were in life to come here. And they had all their kids, and they brought them, and their kids are out there playing with all the other kids. They know some Spanish. They're just having a great time. They go to school here. And
now you're talking about people that
have
were there in Mexico, or people that came with you?
I'm talking about people that came from the United States to work at the orphanage, but they have to cover their own support. They have to commit to a certain period of time.
Right.
And they get interviewed and all that, you know. But there's a lot of people that aren't paid staff that are there helping as
Let me ask
Christian
you a question.
missionaries.
I know here in California, probably in all the other states, when you go to work with children, you generally have to get fingerprinted and a background check to see that you're not a child molester or a felon or anything of that nature. Did you have to do that when you went down there to do your mission work?
We do have to put our passports photocopied on file as soon as we get there.
So you did have to take your passport with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, we're a returning group, and I don't know, like, first-timers. I know that they have a staff person assigned to us. They go over the rules carefully with you about, you know, you can't pick up and hold and carry off the kids or go into their rooms or anything that would put a child in a compromising situation.
Exactly, right.
You can hold the babies, but you're right there in the nursery with all the staff. If the kids want to come up and give you a hug, but they have a lot of safeguards in place. There's staff around all the time, and they do have rules to protect the children. So,
Well, that's good.
we
I didn't know
necessarily
it.
have the fingerprinting
Right.
and the whole scan and background check, but
Maybe that's not necessary in Mexico and you having a passport.
yeah.
But I know there's been at times when Lions have done work with schools and with children, and you do have to get fingerprinted here in California,
Right.
And make sure
And
that
a
that
background
you're-
check.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
background check. So I just wondered if
That's
you
a
had
good
to.
thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's definitely.
But
And,
I am
mean,
surprised at the level
yeah.
they have of, you know, government scrutiny and intervention. So there are protections in place for those kids.
Now, you said there's government intervention from the Mexican government. Can you tell us a little bit about that, if you know?
There's about 6 different organizations in Mexico or governmental agencies that have dominion over the orphanages. So
Okay.
sometimes, you know, they're coming in and something that was okay this year is not okay this year, or all of a sudden you all have to get training for this, or you have to install certain things. So there's a lot of that's the biggest part of their unexpected expenditures, are when the government comes in and regulates something and they have to fix it
Right.
like right away, like fire alarms or fire hydrant training, or you know, kind of like in the United States, but it comes a little more erratically, I guess. But
Now, before we close here today, I just am so proud of you. Our club is very proud of Jennifer and her daughter going to Mexico and doing this mission trip. And we're very happy to support that trip. And I hope that if any of you are interested in learning any more, Jennifer will be putting more information on our Facebook page
Yeah.
and the web page where you could the Door of Faith. And so just go to our website. And if you have questions about it, just address them to Jennifer, Lion Jennifer, and she will give you all the information. And we're so proud of you going, and so
thank
proud
you.
of our honorary member, your daughter Mia, for going and having all of the goodness that she has.
Yeah.
She's just a very, very wonderful young lady. How old is Mia now?
she's 12.
She's
And
12.
Thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
your support and your willingness to reach out. I know that in years past, our club used to help at an orphanage in Mexico, and then red tape and other restrictions made that difficult for a while. So I'm glad to continue the tradition in this
Right.
way for our club.
That is so wonderful. That is
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, I want to thank you, Lion Jennifer, for
Thank
coming
you.
today and sharing. She just got back, and so there's not a lot on the Facebook page yet, but there will be.
Right.
And I'm glad you came here with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Lion Connie.
That is so wonderful. This is an annual event, and it gets better and better. It seems like every year.
Right.
You're a very loving and giving person, Jennifer.
Well, thank you. I'm blessed to have the opportunity, and the people there bless me so much more than anything I or we could ever do for them.
I can imagine. So that's really wonderful.
God is good.
Well, thinking about wonderful things, we have Thanksgiving coming up in a couple of days. And Jennifer, I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
And
Lion
I want to wish everyone out there a wonderful Thanksgiving. And please be with me next Monday when I have my guests coming from the Military Appreciation Stockton hockey game, and that will be Michael Emerson. And he is a veteran and a veteran Marine, and I think you will enjoy our show. Please be with us next week and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.